Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hear Me Out Pitch. I am Tim,
And I'm Willem.
and yeah, Willem, how's your day going?
It's good.
Good, good.
We had food starting on time. The sunlight is slowly coming back.
Slowly. I mean, it's 7:30, and it's still
Pitch black.
pitch black, but
Yeah. Meh. Yeah, it's fine. Got a new car, though. That's good, right?
It's good.
Finally got that
And
figured out.
it's a very good-looking mom car.
I hate you!
I think it suits you. Not the mom part, but just the car itself. I think it suits you.
I mean, I have a definitely not like a paternal thing, but I definitely am like, I gotta take care of people. So
You have a very matronly feel about you.
I guess.
No, no.
I don't know. I'm just not the kind of guy who wants. I would love a sedan, and I realize I have these on still. I'm like, why do I sound funny? It's me. Yeah, I didn't really want a sedan. I want something a little bigger, and I think that having a more of the SUV type is better. I had a Forester last time, and I feel like this new car will be a lot better. Yeah, it looks kind of like a mom car, but you know what? It's gonna get me up the hills if I want to go camping and. Yeah, I like well-rounded cars. Mm-hmm. If I could own a fancy sedan and just be all sporty and cool, I would, but yeah, life. Being an adult.
I get that. For the longest time, the Subaru Forester was like the car that I wanted. Because it's a very good car.
Yeah.
I just think it depends on your situation.
Yeah.
Like people with lots of kids, a mom car is great. People who like to go camping, as long as it can make it up the hill and back, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't need either of those, so my little Subaru Legacy is fantastic.
It's great. It's a cute little car.
It's a cute little car. So, yeah.
Well, it's an exciting day, Tim.
It is an exciting day.
Dun, 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 dun.
I have a feeling that a lot of you guys have probably been waiting for this. It's finally here.
What?
Star Wars Episode 8 is what we're covering tonight.
The Timisode.
Timisode
8.
I have taken time to listen to our episode 7 again, just to refresh myself on some of the things that I may have added to what I had originally put and some of the things that we talked about, and a couple things that I promised, and I've put them into this episode, along with some things. I had already written out like a main idea, like I talked about last time. The Yuzong Vong invasion in Star Wars Legends is pretty cool. Just the invasion of an alien race from outside the galaxy.
Ew.
And so I kind of put that in there without putting that exact thing in there. And
I'm excited for the Borg. I know it's not the same, but ooh.
I've actually changed a little bit of how they look. Just a
ooh, you retcon some things?
Just a touch. And they
okay.
They look interesting. They look kind of freaky. I think you're gonna like it. I have a sketch in my notebook when we get there.
Okay.
For those of you who are not in this room, which is everybody except Willem, I'll just describe it when we get
Maybe
there.
I'll take a picture of the drawing and we'll post it. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
Remember.
We'll see. But yeah, so this episode
you have a title?
8. The current working title. I have a list of 6 titles. 6 potential titles.
Do you want to wait till the end of the episode to talk about it, or do you want to get it through the beginning?
We'll talk about it now, and then while we go through, we can maybe figure out a new
brainstorm it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I am totally down. I love it.
The current title is Shadows of the Force.
Oh.
I thought it could be an interesting title, and with what I've got, there's a few things in here that that title could allude to. But yeah, I have a few. I made a list of must-haves, stuff that are required. I had to put them into this episode, and most of them made it in. Some of them will have to wait for episode 9.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to recap anything. If you haven't listened to my episode 7, please go back and listen to it. You're going to be missing out on a lot of stuff. So pause it right now, go listen to it.
Editor's note, those are episodes 4 and 5 of the podcast. Go back and listen to them, and we will see you in a bit. Bye.
Welcome back. I gotta say this. My wife will tell you, I have been on the biggest Star Wars kick the last month, maybe month and a half. I've been playing through Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, and I'm going through Jedi Survivor a second time.
Ooh, on New Game Plus?
No, I'm doing it this time. I'm going through purely for the story. The first time I went through it, I tried to 100%, get everything that I could. This time, I'm not doing that. I'm just getting all of the stuff that I can on my way, and then I'm gonna just play for the story on a lower difficulty because Darth Vader killing me every 5 seconds is kind of frustrating when I'm playing on Jedi Grandmaster.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
did you do that the first time?
First time I played it, I beat it on Jedi Grandmaster. Hardest difficulty.
Wow, I did the one right below that one. I don't ever play. I don't do the first playthrough anymore that way.
I did the same thing with Fallen Order, and then I played through Fallen Order again on the middle difficulty on Jedi Knight.
I do New Game Plus, and then I'll do the hardest difficulty, and then I'll somewhat struggle, but I ain't gonna. No, that's. Whew. So just Star Wars on your brain.
Star Wars on my brain. We got a 3D printer for Christmas, my wife and I, from Zach. Thanks, buddy. Right now, the bed is not working. Stuff isn't sticking to the bed, so I've got to figure that out. But the last bit, I've been trying to 3D print. I really wanted for this episode to come in with a 3D printed lightsaber. Just a custom 3D printed lightsaber.
Like how big?
Full size.
Oh. Could it do that? Oh, you'd make
print
the
in
parts,
pieces. I'd print it in pieces and then I'd super glue it together. But the printer's not working, so I don't have that. I'm sad, but not that sad.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll get it working, and then I'll have my lightsaber.
Not done at all.
But yeah, just with Star Wars on my brain, I'm playing through Jedi Survivor and trying to draw inspiration from some of the monsters that you have to fight and just the story itself, some of the planets and some of the stuff that you see just off to the side, side story elements and stuff. It's really inspired me, and so there's a few things in here that I really want to happen. And if you have not played Jedi Survivor or Jedi Fallen Order, I encourage you to do so. It's pretty great. There's a few things that will tie into those games.
Really? You're gonna be brave and
those are my favorite. I think those are my favorite Star Wars video games ever. It beats Lego Star Wars for me.
Wow,
which is hard.
Lego Star Wars, and I never played those growing up. So,
but Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor have the best, in my personal opinion, the best story out of all of the Star Wars games. Second place, the story of Starkiller,
of course,
Galen Merrick, Force Unleashed. His story is beautiful. He is easily one of the most powerful Force wielders in the universe, but we're not talking about him. We're going to talk about
he himself is an Elseworld of Star Wars, and
he is the only Force user that Boba Fett was afraid of. Boba Fett would track down anybody. He tracked down Luke. He even at one point I believe he was tracking Vader for somebody, but he refused to track down Starkiller.
And is this from the game or is this from?
No, it's
was a novel that they
novelization.
Made? Yeah. Okay.
So,
but then they retconned it when it's a roll of eyes.
Yep. Anything that has happened since episode 6. Anything that chronologically happens after episode 6. Not everything, but most stuff that's happened after, I disagree with, and I think it shouldn't exist. Mandalorian's cool. There are things I would want to change.
Oh.
It's good. It is really good. Some things don't feel...
Season 1 was absolutely phenomenal.
1 and 2 were good. Season 3 is where it kind of lost me. The Ahsoka series kind of lost me. Tyler and I were talking about it earlier, and we both feel that the Ahsoka Tano that we have now, the live action, isn't the Ahsoka Tano we grew up with. She's not funny. She's not quirky. She's not a smart aleck. She's not Ahsoka.
Well,
This is some other Jedi. Like, I get that she had to mature and she had to grow up.
And she went through, well, she did survive Order
And
66.
she did survive at Order 66, but she's still Ahsoka Tano, and she should be. She should still have her personality. Now she just feels like one of the...
So you feel like they did to Ahsoka kind of what they did to Luke?
Yes. Yeah, I feel like they made her way too serious, way too Jedi mastery.
So they mistake wisdom for grumpiness.
They mistake wisdom for seriousness. That's what they mistake it for. If you like Mandalorian and you like Ahsoka and all that, great for you. I enjoy them. They don't fit for me personally. So, my own personal opinion.
This is a place where we respect people's opinions. They're wrong, but I'm just kidding.
It's okay to be wrong.
It's okay to be wrong. No, but everyone has their own opinions, and that's what this whole thing is. It's based off of our opinion on this podcast, and we just hope that you guys are here to listen, and we really do just we really would just love for you to all just be more creative out there. And if you think of a movie you'd want to change, we'd love to hear about it, like those sort of things. And we just want you to, I just love hearing people discuss about stories, video games, books, movies, because human beings will always love stories and relate them to life. So I don't care.
The thing about being creative is that you're allowed to do whatever you want. For example, I'll give a pretty recent example. The other day, I had a dream.
Oh.
And it was the weirdest dream. Again, Star Wars kick, right? In this dream, I'm a Jedi Master. I told my family this. They're probably going to laugh. I'm a Jedi Master. I'm talking to another Jedi, and he's basically says, hey, the Padawans have all gotten out. I need you to go collect them, bring them back. And so I go out and I start, chasing them down in it was like a jet ski library cart.
A jet ski library cart.
I don't know how to explain it. It was the weirdest thing. But I'm going and I make it to a library, and my brother is the main antagonist in this dream for some reason. And anyway, I go and I snag a bunch of books and I put them into these little slots in my cart, and the books turn into ammunition as lasers. So I start shooting at people, and anyway, so I had that dream, and I wake up and I'm just sitting there in bed, and I just laugh to myself, like, what in the world is my brain trying to tell me? And then I'm like, that could be a really fun board game. And so now I have an idea for a board game where your pieces are library carts, and you have to go around and collect books, and then you use those books, turn them into paper airplanes, and try to hit people.
That's cool.
And it's like, that came from a dream where my brain is at its most creative and most strange and oftentimes uncomfortable. And yeah, and it just speaks to the creativity of some people. Like, you take Star Wars in general, George Lucas is a mastermind. He is one of the most creative people in the world. because of the world that he created. Star Wars is one of the most iconic stories and universes that everybody knows about.
Yeah, it is so well known. It's insane how well known this is.
Yeah. And anyway, so if you're creative, let loose with your creativity. And that's what I've been doing the last several weeks, the last month and a half, 2 months, whatever. That's what I've been doing with writing this. Like I said, I've been working on this for a really long time. And just recently I've been, tuning up, putting in touch-ups and things that I really want for this story, and things that I want these characters to do and things to happen. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you have feedback, reach out. Let me know what you would change.
We always want to hear feedback.
Yeah, we are always happy to hear back and know what you guys want to hear.
I know someday the floodgates are going to open and we're just going to start getting this. And
Too many comments.
I know, and I'm waiting for it, but someday it's just going to come through, and yeah. But holy crap, I'm ready for this, and I hope everyone else is.
Buckle up. Let's get going.
Oh.
So we have our episode Star Wars episode 8. This is the opening crawl. Again, if you don't know what that is, go back and listen to the beginning of episode 7. Go listen to the whole thing again. Yeah. So the opening crawl begins Star Wars episode 8, Shadows of the Force.
Oh, I like the name. Shadows of the Force.
It's a good name.
It's good.
There are others that I had, like Galaxy's Edge, Ghosts of Fate, Ghosts of the Jedi.
Ooh.
Eventide was one that I played around with for a moment, but I kind of dropped all of those for Shadows of the Force.
I really like Shadows of the Force.
It's a good one. So opening crawl begins, and I don't have it word for word, but this is basically what it's gonna say. 4 years have elapsed since Kylo Ren escaped with the holocron and opened the rift. Since then, the galaxy has been plunged back into a terrible war against the Uzun. That is spelled U-U-Z'-UN. A force-resistant cyborg-like species from outside the galaxy. Kylo Ren and the Uzun leader, named Sek, C-E-K, have led a conquest throughout the galaxy, taking control of many planets and subjugating them to the will of their rule. Though the new Jedi Order speculates that Ren wishes to rule the galaxy, the true desires of Kylo Ren are unknown. What could they be planning? And that's the opening crawl. That's kind of that's what I'm going with for now. I don't have it word for word. It's not perfect, but
4 years though, and you've already named like a leader of the Uzun. You have a name for them. I'm all here for it. I like it.
I did take some inspiration for the name from the Yuzong Vong. Again, if you don't know what those are, maybe dig a little deeper. Their story's kind of fun. It's interesting.
I like it. I think it's a fun little playthrough. I think it's it's a different type of name, but it's also gives enough that people who know it will go, so I like it.
Yeah.
I do not know, so I am all for it. I think it's scary and force sensitive though, huh? That's terrifying.
Force resistant.
Force resistant, sorry.
Force resistant.
So that doesn't mean like they can't get force push, but it means that they can't get
harder to be force pushed. Okay. It's like the force
kind of wraps around them.
It's almost like in water, right? Yeah. Try punching something in water. There's so much resistance before you make contact. It's the same thing. And but that's with any force ability, period. Okay. So it's possible, but that's what that is.
Force lightning. Or is that something more of the Sith?
Force lightning, well, it depends. Force lightning on its own is a Sith ability that could potentially deal some damage. It wouldn't affect as much, but there is a Jedi version called Force Judgment. Plo Koon uses it. And
Is he the weird guy with the...
He's the one with the mask.
Yeah, the mask,
and the
he's
breathing
like, and they're
tubes.
like, we're just clones, not to me. That guy,
to
right?
me.
Yeah, that's him, right?
Yeah, that's him. He's one of my favorites. He's awesome.
The first time I ever saw him, he died.
Yeah, that's episode 3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the first time I saw him too. And then
I
he's
was
in Clone Wars.
traumatized. Okay, so
But yeah.
they are so completely so, but I'm assuming that a lightsaber can still cut them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so it's not like they're helpless, but the Jedi are kind of like crap. You know, the
It's gonna be
giant,
harder.
the magical space wizards who have been policing the galaxy, not literally policing, they now have something. They're like, oh no.
Yeah.
We thought we were the toughest guys.
You've played Jedi Survivor,
Yeah.
right? You know how the bigger monsters and stuff that you fight when you use force push, force pull,
And they kind of like,
and it just it's a struggle for you to get them.
what is that?
That's kind of the same way
Okay.
how that works.
Okay. Got it.
By the way, I killed my 5th Rancor the other day. That's a journey on its own.
I haven't killed any in that game because they're terrifying.
They're awesome. I love those fights.
I found one and I was like, cool, this is going to be easy. No.
If you want to 100% it, I believe there's 4 that you have to beat. 2 of them you have to fight at the same time, which is hard, especially Jedi Grand Master.
Jesus Louise, Tim.
Anyway, so opening crawl happens, and it's, obviously we're in space, and all of a sudden we hear a ship come in. Not a TIE fighter, but we see some lasers go by from, I'm imagining, the bottom right to the top left, some greenish lasers blasting, and maybe a couple red thrown in there, and then we see just a fleet, probably a 2 or 3 dozen black, sleek, arrowhead-shaped ships.
You.
Small, not Star Destroyer size, but imagine like
Like a stealth bomber?
yeah, something like that. Probably about that big. They'd probably be able to fit like 2 or 3 people in there.
Okay. Because I immediately just thought of stealth bomber. And I was like, oh.
No, that's
ooh.
fair. So you have there's a bunch of those, and they're flying around and they're shooting, and there's a few familiar ships. You see a couple X-wings and maybe a Y-wing or 2, and then you also see a Jedi cruiser, another one of the classic Jedi ships from the Clone Wars.
Like the ones Anakin and
The ones
Obi-Wan.
Anakin and Obi-Wan used. Okay. And I haven't decided on a color for it. Based on who's flying it, though, we could maybe determine what it looks like, what color it is.
I'm imagining forest green for some reason. Does that
not,
match?
It's not Luke.
Okay.
This
Baby blue.
it will be Ben Solo in the cockpit.
I can still see forest green.
Okay.
I can still see, because what color is Ben Solo's
Lightsaber?
Yeah.
It's blue.
Okay, then maybe a blue then. I think a blue and green would
know.
be good for him.
I don't
So
know.
we got to remind everyone. I know everyone's listened, but just a reminder. And if you are listening and haven't listened to the old one, you're now spoiled that Ben and
Kylo
Kylo are not
different.
the same
They're not the
person,
same person.
which I love so much. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So we'll have Ben Solo in the cockpit, and he'll be talking to his own. He'll be talking to his dad. He'll be talking to Han Solo, who's in the Millennium Falcon, and you see the Millennium Falcon fly by, blasting a bunch of these ships, and they'll be talking, and then Ben will be like, "Hey, Dad, I got fighters on me. Can you get them off? I can't shake them." Han comes in, and you see him, and he's like, Chewie, get him. And then you see Chewbacca with a beautiful bronze,
Oh, yeah, the arm.
beautiful bronze arm. And I know some of you, Dad, I'm mostly talking to you. I know some of you did not like that Chewie had lost his arm last time.
Everyone's got to be no. No, that is a good idea.
The
and if
irony-
you don't like it, the irony
The
is
irony
hilarious.
is funny, and it fits. And I think you'll be happy with what I do to his arm.
And the thing is, can you imagine like a Wookiee who fully realizes what this arm can do? Wookiees are not sorry. People drive me nuts. They think Wookiees are dumb. They're not dumb. They're kind of scary.
No,
anyway,
Wookiees are very intelligent. They might be a little bit primitive, but they are very intelligent.
they're old. Anyway, sorry, we don't need to go into that.
But yeah, so
Bronze arm,
Han will
love it.
tell Chewie, blast him. Chewie will, I can't make the noise, but that.
I can't.
And he'll swing around in the cockpit, and he'll blast like 3 of the ships that are chasing Ben, and then Ben will be able to flip around and shoot the other one. And they'll keep fighting. The fight will continue for a couple minutes. Ben and Han will be talking, and I'm imagining that they will be talking probably about how if they lose this system to the Uzun, they'll be in double digits with loss. They will have lost 10 systems at that point.
And honestly, in any war, you're losing. Well, how many
Systems. Meaning like solar system.
and how many solar systems would you say roughly are they fighting for?
The entire galaxy.
Okay.
I don't know how many are in the galaxy. I don't know that number.
So double digits. So since it's that numerous, because it's only been 4 years, do you think it would be maybe stronger to say triple digits since it's so big? I'm not trying to.
No. I want it to stay double digits because I want the first few years to have been the Uzun have been gathering together, and they've been
But the
preparing for
speed is
invasion.
progressing, and like if they start,
Yeah.
it's double digits.
It's starting to move.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe double digits this year, something like that. This
year.
standard cycle.
Okay.
Because they don't do years, they do cycles.
They do cycles. So yeah, maybe it's maybe we're seeing the. Sorry, I just because in
No.
my head I'm like, there's so many systems, Tim. Only 10.
There are.
So that's
10 systems is still
10 systems
that's
would
still
still
a
be
lot.
insane because we don't know how big this army is. We don't know how big it is.
And we won't find out how big it is. Spoiler alert: we're not going to find out exactly how big this army is at all.
Not this movie.
Not in this movie, at least.
Okay.
But yeah, so the fight will continue. They'll be talking, and then we'll see a Venator class ship fly in, and that's like the Clone Wars version of the Star Destroyer. The big, really, it's huge starship, kind of the red and white. I'm imagining it will be from the Clone Wars, and they'll have renovated it, made it maybe a little bit better.
They have the old resistance symbol.
They have like the old, maybe the old Republic symbol, not old Republic symbol, but the Republic from.
Is that the Phoenix looking one?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. But yeah, so we'll see that it'll show up, and it will end up blasting. We'll see like a flash of light behind it, and we'll see a small section of the ship raise up from the top, angle up a little bit, and then we'll see dozens of rockets
Just pile out.
pile out and take out a ship.
And they're doing so. It's not like they are knocked out of the fight. It's just that that these are just a kryptonite of Jedis. That's what.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
The
They're not
themselves-
invincible,
No, they're not invincible.
but they're just that numerous and that scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, anyway, the Uzun ships will be blasted, and the ones that remain will retreat. And Ben and Han will land, and they will join Leia and Rey,
Ooh.
who, if you remember from last time, Leia and Rey, that it's Jedi Knight or Jedi Master and Padawan.
We basically are getting like three kind of groups,
Yes.
which I really hope we see more of
Well, yeah.
Ben and whatever. Sorry, I don't.
We'll see more of Ben.
I know. I need to stop
Listen.
talking. I'm like excited. This is really bad. Y'all are gonna see how I am watching movies because I'll be like, ooh. Sorry. I'll stop.
But they'll land and they'll meet with Leia and Rey, who Rey will have the classic Jedi braid. Ben Solo will not,
Oh,
because in these 4 years, Ben will be knighted.
oh.
I think it will be cool, because growing up, Ben was being taught, and he was a youngling, and then he was a Padawan, and he's been a Jedi his whole life, and so maybe
Yeah,
in
in
these
this
last
universe, we actually
years.
had a happy relationship with his uncle, his dad, and his
Yes,
mom.
I want Ben Solo. Who, fun fact, Ben Solo's original name was Anakin.
Really?
His original name was supposed to be Anakin, but I kind of like the Ben Solo.
So you're talking like originally they were gonna name him Ben, or you were gonna name him
originally they were gonna name him Ben or
Okay,
name him
Anakin.
Anakin, not me.
Anakin? Which honestly, that makes it.
It makes sense. I'm
It does
imagining
make sense why, because honestly, before spoilers for the Kenobi show, I was like, it was so weird that he had a relationship with both of them, both kids. I was like, it's weird.
but it does make sense because Leia does know who Ben is.
Yes.
Who Kenobi is, and I do like that. Ben was named after Ben Kenobi. Maybe his middle name could be Anakin.
Yeah, no, they probably don't do middle names. I think even Anakin would have been funny. They just called him Annie all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no one wants. I don't think they just want another.
No.
They didn't want a second. I think Ben Solo works.
Yeah, I agree.
They could have said Annie Solo, but that just sounded
Yeah.
That's a cool thing. I like that.
So they'll land. They'll join Leia and Rey, and Ben will come up and he'll take a lightsaber out from his off of his belt and he'll stick it on the table and Leia and Rey will kind of look at each other and then Leia will look at Han and then they'll look at Ben and Ben will say, one of the Uzun had this and knows how to use it.
Oh,
That's a scary thought.
that is a scary.
Imagine a force-resistant creature
thought. Against a.
who is an expert in lightsaber combat.
Is it a lightsaber from? I'll just let you.
It looks like a classic lightsaber.
Okay.
Like I'm imagining. So here's basically how it'll be, and I don't know how it'll be explained, but I'm imagining that Kylo Ren having been an Inquisitor, right? He has access to lightsabers that he's taken from fallen Jedi.
Okay.
Jedi that he's killed.
That's good. I think that's clever. And maybe they can explain that here. Like, where do you think he got it? Because they don't know. They haven't
Maybe
reported.
who do you think they got it? Got it from?
Because they haven't had any reports. Because not only is Leia a high-ranking official,
She's a general.
she's a general. She would probably know if Jedi had fallen. Especially Luke would probably be told. He probably would feel it. So I feel like that could be a thing of like, who do you think it is? And then probably Ben. I actually think it would be funny if Han would be the one to point it out.
Maybe they'll give a name to it
Maybe.
and say this looks like so and so's lightsaber. No one that we've ever heard of before.
Yeah.
Because I'll remind you guys, it's probably been 2 decades since
Order 66.
since Fall of the Empire.
Oh. That was awkward.
And
It's been like, what, 40 since Order 66?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like over at least 3 decades minimum.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
3.5.
Yeah.
4.
Because
I think it's
Anakin
been
would still
4.
be.
Because Luke and Leia were like 19, I
Yeah.
think, in episode 4. if I'm remembering right.
Wow.
So it would have been more than, yeah. Anyway,
And they are twins.
they are twins.
They just want to make sure.
Yeah. So they'll talk about the lightsaber, and then Ben will talk about how while he was down talking with the people on the planet, one of these Uzun creatures showed up out of nowhere and started slaughtering the people with a lightsaber, and Ben had to go in and he ended up defeating the creature. But now they're all afraid that there are
How
more.
many more are there? Are they going to start making them? Is the Sith going to start using kyber crystals? That's a scary thought.
That is a scary thought.
That is scary because you know that because they used to give because I believe they used to give certain stormtroopers just old lightsabers. They would just train them in sword combat in some of the like books or comics.
Yeah.
So that's terrifying.
Yeah. So they'll talk about that, and then they'll talk about how, okay, we've got to figure out where we're going next. And honestly, we need to stop Kylo Ren. He needs to go down. And Leia will turn to a navigation droid and say, "Hey, put me through to Luke." And then we'll pan to,
And I can just imagine the sweep pan from the original Star Wars movies.
yeah, we'll pan to Luke, and he'll be standing, arms folded, and he'll be nodding and talking to a bunch of younglings,
Aww.
each with a lightsaber, and they're doing their lightsaber thing, and in will walk a familiar face, at least to me and Willem. Red hair, maybe a bit of a scruffy beard. We'll see Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. And he'll walk in and he'll be like, "They're doing well. They're doing good." I'm imagining, BD1 is on his shoulder. Like I said, I love those games, and I wanted to put him in here.
Is he going to be a major thing, or is this just kind of a nod?
It's kind of a nod.
Okay,
he's not going to be. He's not a main character or anything.
It's a cameo.
It's a cameo.
It's a very good cameo.
If you know who he is, you know who he is.
Because the actor would love it. They already have Luke and him in trailers together because he was trying to train the actor to become one of the Jedi, and it was Mark Hamill.
Mark
and
Hamill
it's just
yeah.
so the chemistry's there. It would be so easy, and it would be so much fun if they would have done that. But it doesn't work for when they placed it. But you know what? This is Tim's movie, so it doesn't matter.
It's my movie. I mean, Cal will be older. I'm imagining, maybe he'd probably be. Honestly, he'd probably be a similar age to Luke, just a little bit older.
Yeah, because he
was
because it was 10 years.
Padawan,
He was a young Padawan when the Order fell,
and that was when
he's like a full on
maybe a decade older.
Yeah, he could be like a decade older because because Order 66 happened, and that was like the birth of Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
So 10 years. So he was maybe, So wow. And the thing is, he would look good. Oh, that's so weird to think of him being older than Luke.
I mean, in Survivor, you can customize how he looks, right?
Yeah.
I love using the first beard that you get. It's a shorter beard. So it's kind of it's like your beard.
Oh, thanks.
It's there, but it's not overpowering, not too.
But
big.
I can imagine gray,
something like that,
and
a little bit of gray.
I imagine he at least has. I imagine for some reason, don't know why. I just imagine from right knee down is gone. I don't know why I imagine him having a prosthetic, but I just imagine Cal if he kept trying to get Padawans. And he kept going. I swear to you, if in the next game he loses a limb like that, I'll freak out.
Yeah,
but
it's confirmed.
I think
he's getting another game.
He is getting another game.
I'm excited.
I think he's a very good character, and I think a nod here would be good because it's it would make sense.
Yeah, it's think about it this way: the Jedi Order has been remade, and so any
Imagine his
surviving
relief.
Jedi, any remaining Jedi will flock to Luke, including Cal.
He's like a Jyn Erso to Luke.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, sorry.
There's a handful of others that we'll see in a moment.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
show
Okay.
you
I'm
in a
sorry.
moment.
I'm sorry. I'm just very. That makes me happy. That's a good. If this is the only scene we have with him, I will be extremely happy because it's enough to make everyone who loved the game go, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
Love it, Tim.
And I want them to be talking to the younglings about attachment and how having attachment, as opposed to what was taught before, is not a bad thing. When when attachment becomes a distraction, that's when you have issues. But as long as you don't let your attachments become distractions, they can be empowering.
Well, think about Aang.
Think about Aang. Think about Cal Kestis, right? Him and Marin, their bond. We'll see a cameo with her as well. It'll be just in the background.
No.
I swear if they kill her off in the next game, I'm gonna freak.
It better be a good death.
It better not be a death, period.
If it is, I don't know. Now I'm sad. Sorry.
But yeah, so
you're right. You're right.
We'll have that, and then they'll be talking, and then we will have a female figure come in and say, "Luke, I need you," or Leia needs to talk to you. And we will see a red-haired human woman who will come to learn is Mara Jade. Who, if you don't know who Mara Jade is, she is Luke Skywalker's wife.
Oh.
So, in other stories, Mara Jade is a big part. She was Darth Sidious's Black Hand. She was his assassin. Trained in the Force, yada, yada, yada. She went in to fight Luke. She ended up growing having great respect for him, and they will end up falling in love, and they'll get married, etc. In those 4 years, I want that to have happened already. Because I don't want to push the lovey-dovey stuff, because this is Star Wars, right?
So it's finally happened.
It's already happened.
It's already happened, and just in the 4 years, they finally reconnected.
They finally connected, period. I'm thinking at the beginning of the 4 years, she went after Luke, and then he brought her back to the light side, brought her to the Jedi Temple, trained with her, taught her what he knows, she taught him what she knows. They ended up falling in love, and maybe toward the end of the 4 years, they end up getting married.
So I'm assuming that, because I know that, so this is going to be kind of a Marvel thing, because Marvel introduces characters. If you know who the character is, you get to a little bit of foresight into the character. If you don't know, you get to learn along. Yeah. So I'm guessing at some point we'll learn this as an audience.
Well, so right off the bat, Mara Jade will pull Luke aside and say, Han and Leia found something, they need you. And Luke will say, "Step in for me," and she'll nod and give him a quick kiss on the cheek, hand on his shoulder, and we'll see a ring, a very simple ring, on her finger.
Assuming they do that, I have no idea.
I honestly don't know if that's a thing they
whatever
do.
Sign, whatever, just a way to show the audience this is happening.
Yeah, and then she'll go in and help Cal Kestis teach the younglings, and Luke will walk toward.
Sorry, I just imagined Luke is being all like cute. They're holding hands. He's like, what's her name?
Mara Jade.
So Mara Jade is going to take over, kids. Make sure you treat her with utmost respect, okay? And
I think in the background we could hear Cal go, "Oh, Master Jade is here to help teach," and some of the kids go, "Yes," and some of the other kids go, "Oh."
No, I think that would be funny. I just imagine him goes, "Make sure you treat Master Jade with proper respect." And they look away and she says, "Okay." Turns around and the look she gives, like Toph kind of style. Like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. So we'll have that. If you don't like it, that sucks. This is my pitch.
This is Tim's pitch.
But yeah, and she'll give the kiss, and then Luke will walk down the hall, and he'll go to a big. It'll be a fairly large circular room. Some steps down. There will be some chairs and stuff, or some seats all around, kind of like a small amphitheater.
Yeah.
And in the center will be a hollow table, just a big round table with a hollow projector on it. And we will have Leia, Princess Leia, talking to C-3PO through the hollow projection, and she'll be telling 3PO, go prep the droids, prep some of the ships, make sure that Poe knows that that the ships will need repairs when we get back, etc. Prepare for our return. And Leia will turn to Luke and say, Kylo Ren's forces have spread all the way to Tatooine.
Oh.
And Luke will be like, oh, crap.
That's home, right?
That's home.
Oh,
And Ben has something else that he found that's disturbing, and he needs to share it. And Ben will pull out the lightsaber and show Luke, and Luke will be like, "Is that so and so's lightsaber?" And
is that Bob's?
is that Jedi Bob's lightsaber?
How many Jedi Bobs are there?
Is that Padawan Bob's lightsaber?
Oh, that's even worse.
Maybe I'm imagining it would be like a Jedi or a Padawan's lightsaber.
Well, it would be terrible.
Yeah.
Like nothing too great. It was just a Padawan's. It's very simple because I feel like during their growth from Padawan to Jedi, your lightsaber grows with you, as we see with Cal's.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I customized that lightsaber.
Did you like to make yours look old or brand new?
Brand new.
I made mine old.
In the beginning of the game, I'll keep it old, and then as I progress, as I hit big checkpoints, I'll make it a little bit newer, and I'll change some parts out. And then by the end of the game, one side of my lightsaber is Seer Jinda's lightsaber, and the other is Centauri Kree's, and it's the white and gold from the Old Republic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite parts of those games, is just being able to customize my lightsaber.
I love customizing BB-8, making him just no skin.
I can't customize BB-8. I love his look already. Anyway.
Sorry.
But he'll is that Padawan Bob's lightsaber, and Ben will nod and say one of the Uzun was wielding this expertly.
Make sure you have to add expertly.
And Luke will kind of turn to Leia, who's still, she's still quote unquote in frame.
Yeah.
And they'll share a look, that twin telepathy look.
Yeah.
If you're a twin, I know twin telepathy is not what everybody thinks it is,
but we definitely know you all know. We
definitely know
you all are up to something.
We know there's a thing.
We know you're lying. We know something's up. Jeez.
They'll share a look, and Luke will agree that is disturbing news, and we have to stop this from happening, because we do not want the Sith to return like the Old Republic, but have these monsters be replacing the Sith.
Yeah.
The
thing is, I feel like they're gonna try to kill the Sith in the end.
Maybe. I mean, think about it this way: in the Old Republic, there were hundreds of Sith, right, and hundreds of Jedi, and they had a big battle at the Jedi Temple. That's where we have Darth Bane, Darth Revan, etc.
One of the best
Some of the
video game cinematics I've ever seen in my life.
Agreed. One of my favorites.
I don't know nothing that's happening in that trailer. All I know is that it's awesome.
But yeah, we have that, and so Luke will say, or Leia will say, the Uzun also have cloaking devices on all of their ships. including the small ones, and that's making it really hard for us to track them down, keep track of them. And
So cloaking is in like you can't see them a far way off, but they're not going to disappear in front of you.
no, you can't see them on radar. You can't detect them in any way. And sometimes cloaking does mean it turns invisible.
Okay.
Sometimes, not always. And Luke will thank them and say, "Please return as fast as you can. The temple here on Endor is in need of some repairs." And yes, I said Endor because the Ewoks, their moon is it's very green, it's very lush. I would imagine it's very, very connected to the Force. And so of course Luke is gonna say, "Hey, let's make a Jedi temple here."
Colonization.
And I'm imagining that we see an Ewok or two wielding a lightsaber. Imagine Wicket with a lightsaber.
Is he? So Wicket's the one that helps Leia.
Wicket's, yes, he's the one. Red Hood. Yeah.
Did he die?
No,
Is he in here?
no, yeah, he's here.
Is he gonna visit and say hi?
I would imagine we see like one of the Ewoks we see would be Wicket. I don't want him to be a Jedi. I want him to be...
No, but it would be funny if you just see this little Red Hood, but he's got this gray, powder puff nose because he's older, and he's like, and then Luke waves at him, nom, nom, and you're like, all right.
Yeah, and they'll C-3PO will be walking through them, and they'll all be like,
God. And he's like, it's been 40 years, and they still do, or 20 years. 20 years, they never stop. My, oh my. And you're like, geez, okay, C-3PO.
Yeah. So I'm imagining that, and then Luke will walk back down the hall, back towards...
Just imagine the Ewok in a little robe. That's the best Build-A-Bear I've ever seen in my life. I would buy that. An Ewok Jedi with a lightsaber. I'll pay Build-A-Bear. Yep. Sorry.
But yeah, and then we'll pan away, and it'll be dark. It'll pan down to the floor and it'll grow dark, and then it'll pan to the left, and we will see in a dark cave. We'll see cave texture, and we'll see a slight red glow. And it'll keep that red glow will grow lighter and lighter as we continue to pan to the left. And then we'll see Kylo Ren standing with his lightsaber out. Remember, it's a double-bladed lightsaber. Double-bladed red Inquisitor lightsaber with the circular handle.
So I was really sad he didn't keep the crossbar.
No, that's Ben Solo's lightsaber.
Oh, Ben's does the green ones. That's right.
That's
right.
Ben Solo's blue lightsaber has the crossguard. I know in canon it's because when he was bleeding his crystal, he cracked it, so he had to make exhaust vents. But I'm imagining Cal Kestis was like, "Hey, this is a thing you can do if you want to do this to customize it." And he's like, "Yes."
Cal comes up, "Hey,
all right,
do you want to see something cool?"
Well,
because it's a lot more. I really did hate that the big. I'm probably gonna edit out some of these tangents, by the way.
Maybe.
But
I think it's fun.
But the crossbar in the new game, I really didn't like how it was the heavier one, because lightsabers aren't heavy. Or are they? I don't
know.
It's
just it hits harder.
It does hit harder.
Swing it harder, I guess.
I don't know. There were some things that I'm like, I get it. I like, and I will admit that my two stances were heavy and saber and gun.
I was always doing two hands. That's my favorite. It's one in each hand.
See, I was more of, I had a blaster, and I was like, I don't care. I am going to be a rogue Jedi and just beep, beep, beep. Anyway, sorry. Loved it.
You're good. But yeah, so Kylo Ren will be standing there, and he'll have his lightsaber out, and we'll see his helmet. And
please tell me he's not going to take it off.
No,
good.
He doesn't take off his helmet.
I don't want him
Period.
to. I want it to just be this this face. That face. I hated when Adam Driver was revealed. That like the next couple movies, all we saw was Adam Driver. And I love Adam Driver. I think he did a wonderful job.
I liked his red cracked helmet
Yeah,
better.
and I'm like, the helmet was awesome. The helmet was imposing. That first trailer of episode 7 saw it all the way in Ghana. People were watching it. It looked insane. I was like, oh my gosh, Star Wars is going to be crazy. And it wasn't. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, we'll see Kylo Ren standing there, lightsaber out, and it'll pan over and we'll see kind of a soft bluish glow. And we'll see two ghostly figures standing there opposite him. One's a shorter, long-eared Jedi Grand Master Yoda as a ghost, Force ghost, standing side by side with Obi-Wan. Both Force ghosts, and they will be standing there and yeah, they'll be standing there for a moment, and then Kylo Ren will move forward in a swift motion, and he'll attack them both. His entire form just passing through them. They'll turn around.
Why?
To face him again.
Why would they reveal themselves to a Sith? Can they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're Force ghosts. They can do whatever the frick they want.
Okay, I just didn't think...
Master Yoda, as a ghost, appeared to Emperor Palpatine right before Luke came onto the Death Star.
Oh.
Basically to say, you're gonna lose.
That's funny. Okay, yeah.
So it's a
thing. And I mean, technically, the Sith do have the Force. They just don't get to perceive it. So, okay. All right, sorry. I'm just so... I thought maybe he was looking at holograms of them, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Okay, continue.
Force ghost.
Sorry.
And Yoda will say, in his voice, harm us, you cannot.
Harm us, you cannot.
Harm us, you cannot. For one with the Force, we are. So that's what he'll say, and Obi-Wan will then say, in his Alec Guinness voice, it'll be Alec Guinness.
You imagine Alec.
I want the older Alec Guinness.
Well, we
Obi-Wan.
probably can't get that.
We can't, I know.
So you can imagine Alan. I'm gonna imagine.
You can imagine Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
great. I'm imagining Alec Guinness.
That's fine.
Because that's how he ended.
They both work for me. They're
do.
both Obi-Wan, and you can fight me either way. But
and I'm gonna say, or Obi-Wan is gonna say, not even Darth Ruick had the power to destroy us, or had the power to destroy the living Force itself, though he may have tried.
Dang.
And Kylo Ren will yell him, "Leave me be. You haunt this place."
Oh.
And I'm leaving.
Is he in the... Okay.
You haunt me as though it was I who killed you, but I merely stood by and watched.
Okay.
And then Yoda will say, "Kill us, you did not. Destroyed the galaxy you may have. However, destroyed the galaxy you may have." And then not Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan will say, "Your actions may lead to consequences that even you cannot foresee, Kylo Ren."
I can totally... Good. This is good. I'm sorry. I'm loving it.
I tried to make it like fit their speech patterns.
Their speech patterns and how they talk.
Because
Oda is very direct to the point. Like, he is a direct being. Just bam, 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 bam. I mean, Obi-Wan is more of a, I'm going to try to teach you a lesson, and I want to talk, and I'm going to put you asleep with my soothing voice. I'm just kidding.
Yep. And they'll have another, like, they'll continue to go back and forth just a bit, and basically it will be that Yoda and Obi-Wan are telling Kylo Ren that he needs to stop before he unleashes a greater evil on the galaxy. And he'll respond by saying, the Uzun are not my final goal.
Oh, they know.
Now leave me be. And he'll kind of push his hands out to the side, and we'll see kind of just like a ripple of darkness, and Yoda will kind of bow his head a little bit, and the ghosts will vanish, leaving Kylo Ren in the red darkness.
Now, did he do that himself, or did they just go, fine, we'll leave?
They are one with the Force. They can't be destroyed or even affected by him.
Okay, so I just imagine like a buildup. Like you have to get more of a buildup. Like they're just like, and I imagine they keep like, he keeps like throwing a lightsaber or doing all this stuff. You know, they keep saying these things and they get like closer to him, and finally Yoda's right behind him, like, you know, or one of them, and basically like, you're gonna bring something worse, and then he'll turn around and just kind of like have a mental breakdown, like we saw in the first movie, like, leave me alone. And they finally just kind of, and I just imagine Yoda, I don't think he should bow. I think they both like just smirk, because
Yeah, it could be that.
because the thing is, you made that, when you did the down, it made it feel like he did it for a second.
I guess that makes sense.
So
I'm imagining. I guess, yeah. Maybe the smirk would work.
I would love to hear them laugh, because they're like,
Maybe Yoda's
ghost of yeah, seriously, like, and he just leave me alone, and they disappear, and you hear and he's just panting, and you're like, that's funny. Ghost of Jedi's past.
And right there is one of the instances where it could be Shadows of the Force.
I really like the name. I like it works.
This is one of the scenes that kind of helped inspire that. There's a couple others that we'll get to later, but yeah. Kylo Ren will follow the cave. He will deactivate one side of the lightsaber and hold up just the one blade in front of him to illuminate the cave a little bit better. He'll follow the cave for a bit. We'll just hear his footsteps and his breathing before he comes to a somewhat large chamber, probably about the size of my apartment.
Okay.
Tall ceiling, nice and big. The whole apartment.
Yeah. No, I got you.
you. And in the center, there will be kind of a little bit of an altar thing. It stands maybe 3 or 4 feet tall, and hovering above the altar in the center will be a very thin, maybe centimeter wide, 6-inch long rod of metal.
Like a pen?
A little bit thicker than a pen.
Thicker?
Just a little bit.
A little bit thicker than a pen. All right.
Maybe as thick as my G2 pen.
Okay.
It's about
that's thick.
It's about as big as a G2 pen. Not very big. Silvery metal, and I just realized what I'm doing with this. I've had this plan for a while, and I'm just realizing what I'm doing with this.
Are you happy?
I am happy, but
Okay.
I'm also like, oh shoot, I'm taking inspiration from something.
Oh.
And I didn't even realize it. Anyway, we'll get to that. Episode 9.
Oh.
I'll get to that in episode 9.
It just clicked to me what. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he'll grab it, and in this chamber, it's lit. There's actual light coming from each corner. There will be like a sconce with like a bluish green flame.
It's always blue flames.
It is.
And the thing is, I don't mind it.
I like it.
It gives it a feel of like there's something special, something wrong.
And this feels, and we'll see on the far wall, we will see that same depiction of father, daughter, son from Clone Wars. The Mortis gods.
I've seen the newer one, and it was Anakin as Vader with Padme on his. I'm not Padme. Sorry, there was someone recreated it with Vader with Ahsoka on one hand, Star Killer on the other, and I was like, ha! Anyway.
Yeah. No. Actually, I have. Yeah. But yeah. So that'll be.
Again, if you know Star Wars, I do not know it very well. If you know it, you're gonna get it. And anyone complaining right now, you've watched Marvel movies. You don't need to be spoon-fed everything. Just enjoy it and learn it. If you want to learn more, look it up yourself. Sorry, it just bugs me when people complain, and I'm like, if you don't really know, no, I don't. Tim's gonna do a good job. I hope so.
I'm trying to give you the story. I don't need to give you every detail.
Yeah, and I will ask, and that's why I'm kind of here, because I'm asking like. If there's an obvious question that needs to be answered. But anyway, sorry, Tim.
Yeah. No, you're good. It'll be the same mural, the mural of the Mortis gods that we see in Clone Wars. We also see it in Star Wars Rebels toward the end.
Wasn't it in Ahsoka for a second?
It was in Ahsoka for a second as well.
Okay.
So we've seen it a bit.
And it'll be vaguely know it.
It'll be there, and He'll grab the rod and he'll leave, and we'll see him. It'll cut to him walking aboard a larger ship. Again, the nice big black sleek arrowhead-like ship. It's going to be a bit larger than the other ones, than the little starfighters. It'll be it'll probably be like a boarding vessel. They can carry a lot of people. He'll board it, and we will see for the first time one of the Uz-Un.
I have a tiny thought I just had really quick. What if the whole time he's grabbing that rod, they're following him and talking to him the whole time? Because he grabs it, the two Force
Yoda
ghosts.
and Obi-Wan?
He grabs it, and they're like trying to convince him the whole time. We have them cutting scenes, and he grabs it. And then that's when he kind of like, leave me alone. Like he makes up his mind. Like they're really pressuring him. We see him hesitate a tiny bit before he grabs it. And then when he grabs it, he lashes out and then they leave.
I don't want him to hesitate at all.
No hesitation?
No hesitation.
Then that's absolutely fine. But you know what I mean though?
Yeah, I
get you. Show you like, because I feel like it would be cool with the
work.
audience is they're going with him. They're following him. They're trying to tell him, and then they just see him. Like it would be even cool if he grabs it and he turns around, and when he turns around with the camera
through Obi-Wan to grab it.
Either way, like I'm either thinking that he grabs it, turns around, and when he turns around, the camera's far away from the whole room, and they're gone because it shows like he made this is his choice, and they're no longer like can't do nothing to him. He's past everything. Anyway, I just had that thought. Yes or no? I was just like, oh, cool. Wanted to give my 2 cents, but I really want to hear about this leader.
Yeah,
really bad.
We will see the first of the for the first time one of the Uz-Un, and I drew like a simple sketch. You guys aren't going to be able to see it, but I'm going to show Willem.
Ew.
It's imagine almost like a snake. But then mechanically inserted with 4 arms and then 2 legs, and its tail goes around.
For anyone that's seen Thor: Love and Thunder or Ragnarok, Meek as a like snake.
Meek. Yeah.
Meek as a snake, 2 arms on each side and legs. So they're like painfully looking metal things going. Like, does it look like it's painful?
It looks cyborg, very much cyborg. Like it has become part of his body.
Were they willing participants in putting that, you think, or did they make them?
They made them.
Okay.
This is their entire race. Like this is how they function. This is how they do things. So
what's the picture on down here on the corner?
That's him wrapping his tail around as like a belt. Because this leader of the Uz-Un, his name is Sek, C-E-K. I think I said that earlier.
I imagine him just thicker legs.
He'll have
That's it.
maybe thicker legs.
Just like I need like hulking presence. Either way, I don't care. Sorry.
He'll have his tail wrapped around his waist like a belt, and from his belt we'll see a lightsaber.
So when he pulls it out, his tail's holding it.
It'll be a
cool.
little bit of a longer lightsaber than what you might traditionally see. This creature is also much taller than a human. Standing probably like 8 or 9 feet tall.
Good Lord.
Yeah, nice and tall. Like you think Rudy Gobert is tall? This thing
has like
taller.
almost a foot above him. No, actually, it would be
Foot-
over a foot.
foot to 2 feet.
That's
on Rudy
insane.
Gobert.
Yeah, I imagine. Okay, I can think of. And so 4 eyes.
He'll have 4 eyes.
Snake-like.
No real nose. It'll be almost like a flattish face with just a very wide mouth
So when they're
filled with dagger-like teeth.
So when they're born, are they born those little snake things and they get those implants, or
You don't know.
Okay, sorry, my brain's like racing because so they're not like these brainwashed. We are one of the
No.
thing.
Think of it as if you've seen Doctor Who, they're kind of like the Daleks or the Cybermen. Like they do this to themselves.
Everyone
I guess
says
the Cybermen aren't exactly that way, but the Daleks did this to themselves.
you would make a good Dalek. I need to watch that. I've never seen it.
It's good.
Doctor Who.
I love Doctor Who, and there are a lot of things in Doctor Who that I wish they'd put into Star Wars, but they won't. But
He's got an evil side to him. Anyway,
yeah. Anyway, so we'll see Sec. He'll come up and he will.
he's a slither sack. Sorry, that was stupid.
And he will. He'll have 2 of his arms folded, and the other 2, the lower 2, will be clasped behind his back. So imagine like upper 2 arms folded, lower 2 are.
I got it. I got you.
And he'll. Ren will toss him the short metal rod. And he will say, we almost have all of the Force inhibitors.
Yeah.
And Sec will put the rod into a little pouch at his hip, right behind the lightsaber, and then they will walk up to the front of the ship and stand at their own hollow table, kind of mimicking what
Luke and
Leia were doing.
Yeah.
And they'll be
Parallels.
talking.
We like parallels.
Yeah. They'll be talking about how they only need 2 more of these artifacts, the Force inhibitors, before the rift can truly open. And Ren will explain that the Force ghosts were there, and that he continues to see the visions. And Sec says, which visions? And Ren will say, the visions of Darth Vader killing me.
Oh, that's right.
The visions of Darth Vader killing me. And Sec will say, that's foolish. Darth Vader was killed. He can't harm anybody.
So how do this Uzu know about Vader? Just by learning?
It's been 4 years. I would imagine Kylo Ren told them as much as they could.
So what do they have their own language? Do they have something that helps them translate, or is it like something that's raspy and like clicking?
I'm imagining raspy and kind of lower guttural almost.
Like a clicking, like okay. Yeah. I can imagine it. Do you have any Do you have any actor in mind? You know who I thought of?
Maybe John Hurt.
John Hurt's gone.
No.
Really? The old Doctor?
He would be, I think John Hurt, just the way that he carries his voice, I think the way that how it's deeper, it's a little bit gravelly, but not too much. I think I think that would
when he
fit.
was the war time lord, whatever, and
When he was
like
the
how
war doctor, when he's the dragon in Merlin, when he's
I was imagining the cat from Coraline.
that could work too. Something
Either,
like that.
so something dark, something just either we either have British like dark, or you have just deep, dark, and sinister. So either one of those two. Okay, I can
Something
imagine it.
like that.
I think John Hurt would have been so good, actually.
Yeah.
That's impossible. He's been gone. You're like that. That would have been so good. Love it.
And Ren will remind Sek, don't speak too soon. I've also seen the visions of Skywalker killing you. And
Which Skywalker?
he just says Skywalker.
Okay.
It will obviously be Luke
Okay.
Skywalker, like Grandmaster Skywalker, etc.
I really am like my brain is like moving forward. Okay, sorry.
Sek will then kind of scoff, and then he'll walk away. You can hear kind of his metallic legs clanking on the floor softly. And Ren will then enter his own personal chambers. We'll see a few Sith artifacts in his room. It'll be very simple, plain room with a few altars. We'll see a simple bed roll off on the side, and we'll see in the center and a bigger altar-like structure. Some of these artifacts that I thought of, we could have a broken Jedi holocron. I think that could be kind of fun. I'm imagining there's one artifact, and I don't remember what it does or who has it or what it is, but there's like a red Mandalorian style helmet with like the Zabrak horns.
Oh.
I'm imagining that being there, maybe with a big scratch from one side, from like top right corner, maybe one of the horns, and it cuts all the way down across the whole helmet. Anyway, on this main altar-like stand, we will see a familiar artifact. It will be Darth Sidious's lightsaber, Emperor Palpatine's lightsaber. We saw it in my episode 7. I talked about how Kylo Ren had it on his hip, and he would talk to Darth Sidious through it. And he will sit down and he'll meditate, and we'll see kind of like a dreamscape type of deal, and Kylo Ren will be standing face to face with Emperor Palpatine, kind of in this dreamscape, and they'll talk, and Kylo Ren will say, "Master, I've found the fourth inhibitor to remain," and they'll talk for a moment, and he'll tell Sidious that Sek is foolish and still believes that the Uz-Un will rule the galaxy, and Sidious will laugh, his wicked laugh, and say, "Good. Lead the fool to his own destruction."
Lead the fool to his own destruction.
And then we'll cut to black, and then we'll pan to Luke talking to Mara Jade.
Oh, sorry, that makes me happy.
And they'll be, well, think about it this way: Luke deserves love.
This is the Luke that should have happened.
Yeah,
Not this
This is the
grouchy,
Luke-
sour old man.
this is the Luke that has happened, just in books and other stories, not on TV.
Yeah, you're taking straight up inspiration from the book. So before anyone's like, "You're kind of wrong,"
Mara,
it's like,
Mara Jade is an actual character. If you don't like it, shut up.
she is. I swear
She
I saw
exists.
something about her the other day, and I was like, "Who's that?" I think Tim has mentioned her, and I was right.
She exists. But yeah, they'll be talking about the Uzun with the lightsaber and talk about how disturbing it is, and Mara will then remind him, "You must trust in the Force, and you will defeat we will defeat the Uzun." They cannot stand. And Luke will nod, and he'll admit that he does feel worried about the future of the Jedi, and that he saw a vision of many Jedi dying to stop Kylo Ren. And Mara will admit that she's also worried, but that they can't let worry rule their lives and stop them from moving forward. Luke will agree, and they'll kind of, they're standing face to face. I'm imagining, they're kind of holding hands, and we'll see like him squeeze her hand and
Y'all.
turn and walk away.
Who would you
And
have play her?
I don't know. Anybody that could fit the image that we're given in the stories.
Okay.
In fact, let me pull up a picture really quick. Mara Jade. She's redhead. I need to find right photo. Come on. That's Mara Jade. And there's other photos you can look at. Just kind of get the gist. Basically, she's a redhead, piercing greenish blue eyes. And yeah, so anybody that would fit that description. Anyway, so Luke will leave Mara, and she'll go her own way, and Luke will go towards the council hall, which will be very similar setup to the Jedi Council, the Jedi Council room on Coruscant, where it's the circular room that each Jedi Master has a chair, like a circular seat that they can sit in, and the center is open, and we'll see sitting in these council chairs, there will not be very many, but we will see a few. We will see Cal Kestis sitting in one of the seats. We will see Ahsoka sitting in one of the seats. We will see, I don't know, if you haven't watched Clone Wars, you need to go watch it. Same with Star Wars Rebels. There is a Wookiee Jedi named Gunji. He's adorable. His lightsaber is wood. It's like Kashyyyk wood.
Oh, but not the light that comes out of it.
It's super cool. And then we'll see 3 other figures sitting around the, sitting in these seats in the council. We won't recognize any of the Jedi. I'm imagining like one of them's a human. One of them could look similar to like Kiadi Mundi, the cone head guy.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I think his species was wiped out. I'm not 100% sure on that though. I'm imagining
one that looks like Thrawn.
I actually was imagining one that the blue skin and like the piercing like, reddish eyes.
Random thing for you, because this is kind of who I thought of, because I knew she was redhead, but Julianne Moore
could work.
Yep.
Julianne Moore could definitely work.
I'm glad. Yep. I was like Julianne Moore. It was either her, and I had to go find her face real quick, but I was like, pretty sure that's who I was thinking of, and I was right. Yeah. Anyway, I think they would work good together. Her and Luke would be just, and they're around the same age, so, or I think she might be like 9 years younger, but still, it works.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, so we'll see these Jedi, and they'll be standing, waiting for Luke, and Luke will have his own chair, his own seat, and he is the Grand Master of the Jedi.
So a Skywalker became a Grand Master.
Master. We had Grand Master Yoda, and next is Grand Master Skywalker. Think about it this way: Luke Skywalker was powerful enough that he
walked into a room with
Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine.
This is not a joke. He
And
really did.
He walked out
Dragging Darth Vader.
dragging Darth Vader's almost corpse-like body.
All the stormtroopers.
Uh-huh.
No, it's
He is in my personal opinion, Luke Skywalker is the most powerful Jedi after Anakin Skywalker.
so young Anakin.
Young Anakin versus young Luke, it would be close, but I think Anakin would win because Anakin's father literally was the Force. But
Anakin is Force Jesus.
yeah, kind of.
I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm pretty
He
sure
is.
like
that's yeah.
kind of what he's based off of. He's just a fallen version. It's very sad. That's why his character's so sad. Anyway,
But yeah, so we'll have that, and Luke will address the council and say, "Look, the Uzun have upped their game. Ben Solo, Jedi Knight Ben Solo,
Jedi Knight Solo.
Jedi Knight. I'm imagining maybe Jedi Knight Ben Solo.
Okay.
Found or defeated one of these Uzun wielding a lightsaber, and it belonged to Padawan Bob.
Yay.
And now we know, and maybe Ahsoka can be like, "That's where my Padawan went."
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Or
Something
even
like that.
Cal Kestis
Maybe
could be
Cal.
just like because he just knew that kid or just knew of him.
Or maybe we see like Cal and Ahsoka
Ahsoka.
share a look and kind of look down. And Cal will say, "Well, I've fought non-Force users who've wielded lightsabers, and they can be very dangerous,
Yeah.
especially if they know what they're doing." And Ahsoka will agree that can be dangerous, and she'll put it out there and say maybe the Padawans need to learn more advanced techniques for with their lightsaber, so they can defend themselves. And Luke will nod and say, basically say, "Cal, Ahsoka, I need you to take any younglings that are not battle worthy, but not battle ready, and take them to Tanalorr."
I'm going to be a random person that snuck into the room and ask, "Master Skywalker, why don't we just teach them how to use guns?" Because I'm genuinely curious. Why don't they?
We could. I'm imagining maybe Cal, because Cal Kestis is a little bit unorthodox and he uses a blaster. Maybe he'll teach some of the Padawans.
Okay.
The ones
I'm just
to
curious. I'm just because I'm like, would that be against it? Would Luke be like? Because I feel like I've played video games where Luke, you had to use a gun before you used the lightsaber.
Luke used a blaster several times.
Obi-Wan
On
used
screen.
a blaster.
On screen, we saw Luke using a blaster on the Death Star.
Okay, I just wanted to.
So,
I'm not trying to like.
I'm imagining, they could be teaching them.
They could be doing that. Okay, so that's kind of might be implied, but
Yeah, but
still, though, this is terrifying.
yeah,
And you don't always have a blaster, but you should always have your lightsaber.
You should have a weapon.
Always.
And the line that Obi-Wan says to Anakin in the second movie, "This weapon is your life.
Don't lose it."
Don't lose it."
Yeah. So, and I get that, and it would be cute if one of them says that.
A Jedi is defined by his lightsaber.
Yep. Don't. This is, and even Ahsoka could say it. Ahsoka could be like, "This is your life. Don't lose it," and everyone like, oh, like everyone like all the audience would be like, oh. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool! I am loving this, Tim.
I want
Good job.
Luke. I want Luke to direct Cal and Ahsoka to take any who are not battle worthy, any who are injured and recovering, etc., to go to Tanalorr. In Jedi Survivor, Tanalorr is kind of the main goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining that at this point they're using it as like a Jedi outpost.
Okay.
As a Jedi temple to help train and etc., because it's very strong with the Force, etc. And then
I'm getting scared already.
and then Luke will say, "There's one other order of business I have. Leia has suggested, and when he says Leia, he looks to an empty chair beside his and says, Leia has suggested that we give Ben a Padawan.
Oh,
And we'll have two of the unnamed Jedi speak up and say, we think he's still too young and inexperienced for his own Padawan. We'll maybe have Gunji agree, but then we'll have Cal and Ahsoka say, hey, might not be a bad idea to... It might
you know
be able
the
to...
two people who survived at the youngest and had to go through all of this?
Think about it this way. So I'll actually have this.
Okay.
Ahsoka will say that her master was unprepared too, but she turned out all right.
Did she though?
Yeah, she
did, but it was traumatizing.
It was,
and
it wasn't Anakin's fault that bad stuff happened to her. It was Barriss Offee, to be honest.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Watch Clone Wars.
Okay,
all of it.
No, someday.
And
Tyler
knows what I'm talking about.
Cal didn't even have a full-on master. He had to
Cal's master was killed when he was still very young, and his next master
was also
killed a little bit later.
Spoilers.
After he was knighted already. Like she knighted him.
She knighted him gruffly at the end of the first game, right? Okay.
Yeah, toward the end. Well, he defeated Terran Malicos on Dathomir.
Does that feat make you a knight?
No. When you are worthy to be a Jedi Knight, then you are made a Jedi Knight.
Does that feat of killing a Sith
maybe defeating a fallen Jedi, a Sith, could help that? Yeah,
they'd keep it in, so it would definitely add.
Yeah,
like
so
your consideration
to become a Jedi Knight. Often, you go through the Jedi trials.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what makes. Okay.
Okay.
We see that in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
We see Ezra go through that.
I didn't watch Rebels, but okay.
And we also I want to see Ezra Bridger just briefly. Also,
so I'm assuming that many of the characters you've picked out or mentioned, are you picturing kind of the actors they've done today? Because honestly,
I think so.
I think that the woman who they picked as Ahsoka, she killed it.
She looks like Ahsoka. I think
I loved her in the first seasons of Yes, it's the screenwriting,
screenwriting.
But it's like a Henry Cavill sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because Mandalorian, I was like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a little bit of Ahsoka in Rebels and Clone Wars, but she knocked it out of the park. I was like, you cannot tell me that's not her. Anyway.
Yeah. So they'll talk, and Luke will say, let's see how he does on the next mission or two. And then we'll decide. And Leia will walk in.
She made it?
Uh-huh.
Dang.
It's been some time. They made it.
Yeah, you're right.
Leia will walk in and interrupt. Say, Luke, we know where Ren's going. But Sek is going somewhere else. They've split. They've split up. And so they'll make plans, and they'll end up having two teams form. The first team, it'll be Leia and Rey, her Padawan, Han and Chewie, and then we'll have the two droids. We'll have C-3PO go with, and then it will be Luke and Mara Jade and Finn and Ben Solo.
Where has Finn been?
Finn is Luke's Padawan, right?
Okay. No, but where has he been throughout this movie?
I'm imagining he's training, and he's on a mission or something.
Okay, so because it's only been like what, maybe
a half hour,
30, 40 minutes. So it's okay that we don't have him yet, but okay.
Yeah.
Because he was a big part of the first movie.
Maybe he ran off to help, or he ran off with C-3PO to help Poe prepare the.
Yeah, maybe he was there in the beginning. As I'm just curious because we haven't seen him yet, and
we'll see a little bit more of him.
Okay.
So we'll have all these teams get ready to leave. We'll watch as Ahsoka and Cal go off to go get people prepared so they can leave. And yeah, so Leia will say, or Luke will ask, "Hey, where's Kylo Ren going? I'll take my guys, go after Ren. You go after Sec. Where is Kylo Ren going?" And Kylo Ren will be, and Leia will say he's going to Malak Ern, which is a Sith planet. It has an ancient Sith castle, or ancient Sith temple, and he's going. I think he's going after. I think he's going after an artifact there. Then she'll say Sec is going to Malnadon, an arid planet. It's kind of a desert-like planet, very much like Tatooine. Less sand than Tatooine. Think about it more just like stony,
I don't like
barren
sand.
rock. And she'll say he's going to Malnadon, where the Sith and Jedi battled eons ago. They'll all get ready to go, and that's where we're gonna leave it for tonight.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're gonna have to wait.
Usually our
wait for
part
it to get
twos are
exciting.
bigger than our part ones. That's what happens. We promise we will get right into it next time. Probably, maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe I might. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have anything that you want me to answer before I continue, let us know.
You got to hurry.
message us on Facebook or by email or on any of our other social media platforms. We also have a YouTube channel now,
No.
so you can comment on that.
Yeah, I got to figure out that because apparently, yeah, really quick about that. YouTube, Google Podcasts will be ending. So for all those people using Google Podcasts, they're slowly going to transfer to YouTube. So I thought I'd just get on that train and do it now. So YouTube's going to, YouTube already has a podcast section for their YouTube music, whatever. And you can also listen. And it's really kind of cool what they're doing, but it's weird. But yeah, we already switched it. So yeah, we have a YouTube now. Hooray! And hopefully more memes and all that fun stuff. So yeah, comment, send us messages. And email us. It's there.
Yep.
And I always forget what it is at the last second because I get nervous. It's just hearmeoutpitch@gmail.com. That's it.
So, yeah, we'll pick it up next time. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, anything you want me to talk about, anything that you want me to answer, anything you want Willem to talk about or ask about,
I will always be the voice for you guys. It's fine.
Go ahead and leave us a comment and we can talk about it.
And with that, everybody, we will see you later, pitches. Woo!